Okay, did you always know you wanted to be a veterinarian, or were you planning on doing something else?
Um, I was always wanted to know I always wanted to know I wanted to do it, but I took a different road in life. But I came back to being a veterinarian.
What did you go to, and what made you change your mind?
I used to do some international business, okay, importing and exporting with Italy and Japan, and then the economy went bad about 10 years ago, and then so I went back to school and I became a veterinarian.
How did you know you wanted to be a veterinarian?
I've always liked to fix broken things.
Oh.
Yeah, and I like animals, so yeah.
Oh, that's good. What was the hardest aspect throughout your career?
Sometimes when the economy is not good and people can't afford the treatment, then sometimes we call this economic euthanasia. Owners can't afford the treatment, but the pet is fixable, you know, and so sometimes as a result of money, owners can't afford it, then we put pets down, okay, but there's a lot of options to it we work with now, so that's not so much the case. We have some donation groups we work with, and we have some care credit programs available to help pay for bills and stuff, so.
That's good. Were there people throughout your life who thought you wouldn't do good in the veterinarian field, and like, would you change your life right now?
Were there people who thought I wouldn't do good at it?
Yeah, like were people doubting you?
No one really ever doubted me, but sometimes, you know, people would question, why a veterinarian, you know? Why not a medical doctor or a dentist, you know? Things like that, you know? But, you know, it's kind of, I always discarded those things. And in hindsight, compared to what they said to me then, and where they are in life and where I am in life, and, you know, they're really kind of bottom feeders now, you know? So, you know, this is a really rewarding job. You get to help people by helping their pets, you know? And as long as, you know, it's you're improving the quality of life of a living creature, and, you know, so you get a lot of gratitude, so I don't really care what other people say.
Have you ever felt that what you did was more important to you? Like, the people, when you thought it was important, did you believe others thought it was important?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Did you believe that you thought veterinarians were important? Did other people didn't think that? Like, they try to change your road in life?
Not so much. You know, for me, it's like, you know, this is something I always wanted to do, but I wanted to try something else too, and that's why I did the business thing. No one really discouraged me from doing it other than myself, you know. I knew that veterinary medicine, the curriculum was not going to be easy, you know. So I wanted to try something perhaps a little bit easier. And some, you know, I've always been interested in doing business stuff too, so that's why I tried that first, and then, you know, economy went bad, and my company I was working for went bankrupt. So then that's why I said it's a good time to go back to school. Yeah.
That's good. When did you know, what was that final thought that made you believe that veterinarian was the right path in the end?
I think the day I graduated, not the day, the day I passed my licensing board exams, okay, for California. You know, being a veterinarian, you have to take some kind of national board exams and state board exams. And the state board exam is one of the hardest tests there are for any kind of medical professional, you know. The pass rate is very low for this test. And when you know, I've passed it my first time, thank God, but after you pass it, you just realize all the stuff that you have to put up with in school, and it's a very rigorous curriculum. It all paid off at the end, you know.
How'd you deal with all of that? Did you ever feel like giving up?
Oh, plenty of times. Sure, yeah. That school's not easy, you know. In my starting class, I'd say about maybe 10% of the class didn't make it. Okay, they either failed something, got held back, or dropped out altogether. Okay, it wasn't easy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a filtering process in veterinary school. They make the first few semesters very difficult. They want to see if you have what it takes, if you can make it or not. Okay, so if you make it through usually the first 2 years, then you're good to go. Okay, but if you cannot survive the first 2 years, then maybe being a veterinarian is not the right one for you, you know?
Yeah, that's
sure.
True. Are you happy with your achievements?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Sure, very happy, you know.
What is the balance for you between luck and hard work in your life?
Between luck and hard work?
Yeah.
Well, I think I've been lucky enough to be at the right places at the right time. Okay.
Can you describe that?
Okay, like for example, when I graduated from vet school, I was lucky enough to know somebody who knew somebody who was willing to give me a job. You know, I think the average pay for a starting veterinarian was like around 80,000 in California. Okay, but my first boss was kind enough to me to give me something well beyond that. You know, so I mean I was lucky in that regards in terms of salary and so forth. But I've also been lucky enough to set up an animal hospital here in Anaheim. You know, and I've been blessed with good clientele, you know, very nice clients, and you know, I love the community here, and so forth, and you know, I've been lucky to also be born to a good family, you know, and then you know, money is never the chief motivator. I've learned, you know, so it's like we just help the animals get better, and then you know, the words come secondarily, you know. Yeah.
What would you recommend for us to do if we wanted to continue our path and actually do veterinarian, which was our first choice?
Sure, try volunteering at animal hospitals and at shelters, you know. Get a feel for the field. It's not easy, you know, working in an animal hospital. There's a lot of things. I mean, you get to see cool looking puppies, cute puppies and so forth, and you get to meet a lot of people, but it's also very tough because you have to deal with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, you know. It's a high stress job.
How would you tell your clients if a person needs to be put to sleep? Not a person like an animal.
Well, you know, you give them options, you know. You can tell them, you know, if you want to try heroic measures, we can definitely try treating. If this was my animal or my pet, I think I would consider euthanasia, you know. You never tell a person to put their pet to sleep, you know. You can always recommend things, but you have to let them make their decisions on their own, you know.
What's euthanasia?
Euthanasia is just another word for putting animals to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. Euthanasia means humane killing. Okay, so you're putting an animal down to be humane. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for your time and
no problem.
Thank you for interviewing and
no, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll become veterinarians in the future.
Yeah, come by and feel free to volunteer anytime you guys want.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Study hard.